Hey guys, welcome to Mecharashi. This is an update on Harpy Troops, which was teased in our roadmap previously. So recruitment info during the Harpy Troops recruitment event, your odds of drawing a HT code will match the usual pick up pilot drop rate for the standard banner. So take note, the rates that they'll be using is for the standard banner. HT codes can be exchanged for certain pilots. You can actually choose between Natalia and Marcus for this one. So event period is on 8/21, which is this upcoming Thursday, up to September 3rd, right before Eileen drops on the 4th. So note that you can redeem each pilot at a maximum of 6 times, and the amount of HT codes beyond the amount required to reach max potential will be converted into 30 ACE tokens. So Harpy Troops shares its guaranteed pull progress with other pull banners. Any unused HT codes left over for this particular event will carry over to another future Harpy Troops event. So let's take a look at both of them, if either of them or both of them are actually worth pulling. First off is going to be Natalia. So Natalia will be our sniper. Let's talk about our snipers first. How many do we have? We do have currently the ones that we're using are Dana. We're using Winston. We have Sylvie already out. And most of you are actually looking forward to Kelly. So is Natalia relevant at this point in time? Let's take a look at her kit before we answer that. So for her talent, it's an Intel Collection. When an SD is destroyed within range, passively restores 1 AP, can trigger 1 time per turn, and gives her a crit damage of plus 10%. So this one is not necessarily that she should destroy it. Probably if an ST is destroyed by other mechs, this triggers as well. So let's take a look at her skills here. The first one is going to be her professional ability. After destroying the target, triggers reattack, can trigger up to 2 times per turn, unable to move before attacking. Next is going to be a passive. Core Neuron 1, when attacking without having moved this turn, damage is plus 15%. So this one complements the first skill that we mentioned. Let's go to Core Neuron 2. This is also a passive. At the start of your turn, gains Serenity. Crit rate plus 5, crit damage plus 5, and up to 3 stacks, losing all effects upon taking damage. So this one also increases both stacking to a max of 15%. And this is actually nice. As long as you could, keep her away from damage, there are a lot of ways to do that. We have our cloak. We have mobility for snipers. So this is going to be an easy, not really easy, but a maintainable effect to have. So let's go to Core Neuron 3. This one is a active skill. Cost is 4 AP. Uses a sniper rifle to attack a target, dealing 1.5 damage. Enters aiming mode. So before attacking, hit rate is minus 20 when executing this skill. Next is going to be anti-tracking. This is a passive. When detecting an incoming missile at the maximum range, has a 40% chance to intercept it with a sniper rifle. Each successful interception restores 1 AP. Can trigger up to 2 times per turn. This is a nice defensive passive. This is actually useful in some stages. In some stages, really, this is very useful. Okay, so we have Core Neuron 5. This one is a code. Cost is 1 AP. Enters rack mode. Rack mode is stationary deployment. Unable to move grants a special bonus. Unable to move. Sniper rifle range is plus 2. Damage is plus 10. Can continue attacking after racking. SD automatically exits rack mode when an arm is destroyed. Okay, when in rack mode, the retract code can be cast. So after retracting, movement can continue. Curious about that. We have Core Neuron 6. This one is a code as well. Cost is 0 AP. Cooldown is 2 turns. Gains 1 AP and crit rate up 2, lasting 1 turn. Can continue action without remaining movement. And the last core neuron is 7, which is gonna be consumes all AP to attack a target with a sniper rifle, dealing 1.2 damage for each additional 1 AP consumed skill damage multiplier plus 0.15 enters aiming mode before attacking. This skill is actually good for bosses because this scales up damage for a sniper rifle. So again, scales by 1.2 times, then additional AP consumed, then there's another modifier here, and it goes into aiming mode. Take note that we have bosses that we do need to shoot the legs first or arms first before we could do significant damage or to disable a boss. So this is a good skill for a boss. So for her neural drive, we'll start with Alpha. Alpha sector is just your basic one. First is after destroying parts, re-attack, AP regen, and initial AP plus 1. Beta is going to be, again, re-attack, can move 2 tiles before attacking. When destroying a part, restores 1 AP after combat, can trigger up to 1 time per turn, and AP cap is going to have a plus 1. So for your Gamma 1 sector, this is going to be interesting. Before enemies within range initiate combat, triggers Vigilant Shot, which I haven't seen yet, even with Sylvie, because I think I haven't opened this. This is actually a similar ability to Sylvie with Vigilant Shot, with a ranged weapon dealing 0.5x damage, can trigger 1 time per turn. AP cap is a plus 1. Re-attack trigger chances is going to be a plus 1 as well. Then the part 2 is Vigilant Shot. Trigger chances per turn is a plus 1, so that's 2. Increases Vigilant Shot damage multiplier by 0.5 times, and launches Vigilant Shot against an enemy that has not attacked. Targets the part with the lowest HP. This is actually nice. Okay, and the last one is going to be Gamma Sector 2. Intel collection can trigger 1 time per turn. So when an SD is destroyed within range, restores 1 AP, can trigger 1 time per turn. AP cap is plus 1, and when destroying a target, additionally restores 1 AP after combat, can trigger up to 2 times per turn. When ending turn without having moved, passively restores 1 AP and extends, and the next one is extends Intel collection range to the entire battlefield. Whoa, this is kind of nice. When initiating combat, increases damage dealt to body parts by 25%. So, what do I think of Natalia currently? Although her kit is impressive, if you don't have any sniper available, she would be very good for you. But I'm sure some of you already got Sylvie, and she's actually below Sylvie in terms of what she can do. Sylvie's kit is more impressive than hers. So at this point, I would highly recommend you guys not to pull for her, because we still have the banner for Sylvie. So unless she's your waifu, then go for her. But if not, and if you're looking for a sniper, do pull for Sylvie in her banner, not Natalia on the upcoming banner. So for Marcus, Marcus is going to be an assault pilot. Then let's start off with his talent here. So Brave Advance, when moving 3 or more tiles before attacking, triggers re-attack after combat, can trigger 1 time per turn. Cannot move before attacking when initiating combat if only 1 enemy is within 2 adjacent tiles. Deals 15% damage. His kit is really perfect for somebody who's chasing down somebody. Okay? Because it requires him to move so that he could have a buff in terms of, not a buff, but triggers re-attack after combat. So even for movement, re-attack actually triggers. If he doesn't destroy a mech or a part after the first attack, but he moved 3 tiles, then he could still do another re-attack. Okay, but this is only triggered once per turn. This is actually interesting. So let's take a look at his skills. So for the first one, for profession ability, cooperates with allies to launch an assault weapon. Link attack, dealing 0.2 damage, can trigger up to 1 times per turn. So perfect with link attack. Core Neuron 1 is going to be a active skill. Cost is 2 AP. Uses a Pile Bunker and Knuckles to attack target, dealing 1.1 damage. Targets the parts with the lowest HP. Nice, interesting. Then we have here Core Neuron 2, Sabotage. It's a passive when actively attacking. 20% damage to parts with less than 50% HP. So 20% damage to parts with less than. So basically, he's going to be your finisher in terms of deactivating parts of an opposing mech. Also, for your Core Neuron 3, cost is 1 AP. Then cooldown is 2 turns. Gains crit up to for 1 turn, which is 15%. Then can continue to move up to 3 tiles, can attack after moving. So his kit is really forcing him to be mobile. Impressive, but what if his movement is restricted and he can't really run around? So that might be a problem. That might be an advantage as well. So if a part is destroyed, this is his Core Neuron 4. In combat, restores 1 AP after combat, can trigger up to 1 time per turn. Okay, then Core Neuron 5 is Load Sabot Slug. This is a cost of 4 AP, 0 cooldown, fires 1 Sabot Slug shotgun round at a single target within 3 tiles, dealing 0.8 damage. Targets the part with the lowest HP. So clearly he has an intention to disable enemies. Then we have Core Neuron 6, passive cost when initiating combat. If the target cannot retaliate, triggers Flurry Strike, which is enemy retaliation. After enemy retaliation, launch an additional attack. So for this, if the enemy cannot retaliate, he still does a Flurry Strike. This is actually nice. Then we do have the Core Neuron 7, which is going to be active. Cost is 5 AP. Requires both a shotgun and a melee weapon. Uses the shotgun to attack a target, dealing 1.2 damage. Then follows up with a melee weapon. Attacks that deals an additional 1.2 damage to the part with the lowest HP. So technically, you have to build him in the end with both a melee and an assault weapon. So far as Neural Drive, we start with Alpha. So link attack trigger chances per turn is going to be a +1, which is nice. So that probably takes it to 2. AP Regen 1, initial AP is going to be a +1. Then for Beta Sector, it's going to be increased link attack damage multiplier to 0.3. Okay, and next one is when destroying a part, restores 1 AP after combat, can trigger up to 1 time per turn, and AP cap is a +1. So for your Gamma 1, this is going to be the meat of his upgrades. Unlocks the assault weapon ideal range ability. When in combat with a target at ideal range, final damage is a 15%. AP cap is +1. Then at 7, at the end of the action, if not actively attacking this turn, can move extra 2 tiles. Very mobile. When in combat with a target at ideal range, hit rate is at 12%. When in combat with a target at ideal range, crit rate is also at 15%. So this one is built around ideal range for this set. In terms of this sector, when in combat with a target at ideal range, final damage is at 30%. So the gist here is, if you take him to ideal range, every time there are a lot of buffs and pluses within his kit. So let's go to the last one, Gamma Sector 2. After triggering talent re-attack effect, if AP is 2 or less, restores 1 AP. So more or less, this one is for AP gain, kind of similar to Natalia's Gamma Sector, one of them. This one is before actively attacking without having moved, can trigger re-attack, can trigger up to 1 time per turn, unable to move before attacking. Effects similar to re-attack cannot be re-triggered. Then at 10, before initiating combat for every 1 tile, Move damage +4 up to 20%. Again, he's first to move here. After triggering Talon's reattack effect, can move up to 2 tiles before attacking, and when triggering reattack, reduces the AP cost of the last used weapon by 1, minimum of 1 AP. So, Marcus's kit is more interesting and kind of has potential. Okay. Will you be getting him? Will I be recommending you get him? If you do have Frida, and if you do have Rosa, I don't think you need another assault, character right now. If you have Rosa, there is it would be nice if you get him as another assault together with Rosa. If you have Frida, if you pair him with Frida, they could go hand in hand, but I think it's a mismatch because Frida's kit is not, Frida's kit is not, she cannot push her damage through mobility. So this guy clearly is going to be working like an assassin, mobile, and picking up targets on the move. So basically, he could work alone. I don't think he could work much with his link attack with teams if he's expected to go mobile. If you're not gonna be going mobile, you miss out on a lot of buffs as well. I think link attack for him would be kind of just an add-on, but I don't think he'll use it that frequently, especially if he's moving around. Again, if you have Frida and Rosa, I don't think you should get him. Wait for future assault characters like Adele. I've actually used Adele in my TW account, and she is really, I think, the next step for me because I have Frida, I have Rosa. Again, if you have Rosa, you could get him, but that is it. If you have Frida, I don't think you have to get him at this point. But again, guys, it's really up to you. I'll leave it to you to decide whether if you're going to be getting Marcus or not. But again, those are my, my opinion on if you get him with this and with that. But overall, I think he's a pass. We do have better assault in the future. Again, we have Adele, we have Matilda, but we don't know when they're coming. But again, he's kind of a skip for me at this point. Okay, so guys, what do you think? Will you be pulling for Natalie or Marcus? Comment down in the comment section. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.